This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at the Met in Hollywood for the Los Angeles premiere of Honky. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Ron Batista. I've done a lot of LA theater. I studied here at Berkeley and at NYU, and I started acting in theater, and I now do a lot of voiceovers and ADR in films and a lot of theater. In this play I play three characters. I play a smarmy guy from Human Resources, I play Abraham Lincoln, and I play Dr. Driscoll, the inventor of Driscoll.
So, what's your take on this play?
I think it makes everybody uncomfortable that watches it, which is, I think, what theater should do.
Well, I loved this play. I loved it. I loved the depth that it was taking. I loved the characters it drew, and I actually thought it was actually quite funny.
Yeah, I think it's a tremendously funny play. I think it's only incidental that it just makes everyone uncomfortable, because just when you think you've got its point of view, it changes and turns around and smacks you in the face. This is my 101st play. I get something out of every play. You know, it's just like I really enjoy doing it. I get to play a bunch of different characters and run around and do things, and I get to work with a really nice cast. So, and I'm a theater company member here, so I get to do stuff here every year. So, yeah.
Great. Once again, I love the play. I loved your performance.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Bruce Nozick. Was in New York for many years, went to NYU, did a lot of theater in New York, did a lot of regional theater, came out here in the early 90s, got into television and film. I was on Weeds for a couple of seasons. I was on The Last Ship last season. I'm going to be on a movie called All the Way that premieres on HBO next Saturday with Bryan Cranston about LBJ. And I'm doing this play, playing Davis Towson. You know, he's a guy doing his job. He's an ad guy who does not consider what he's doing to be prejudiced or racist or anything. He's just doing what he needs to do to fulfill the job that he was hired to do. And then when he does what they ask of him, because of all the racial mess that he stirs up, he gets fired. And you know, it takes him a while to come around and understand what the heck happened.
I love the performance. I love this play. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you. We are having such a good time. We really are. It's a wonderful group of actors. It's a beautifully staged production. Greg Daniel did an amazing job directing it and putting all the pieces together. But, you know, more than anything, we are having so much fun with each other. You know, everybody's great. Everybody's terrific to work with. And I think it comes through on stage as well, you know, that energy, that enjoyment that we're having.
If one of my viewers decide to come by here and see the play, what should they expect to see?
They're going to see something that's going to actually set them off balance. You know, they're going to laugh a lot. They're going to laugh unexpectedly, I think. And they're going to be forced to think. You know, it's a very, very smart play with a great deal of humor, and I think it really kind of sends an audience reeling. But it's very entertaining.
Did you get anything out of the play?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a fantastic artistic experience as an actor working on this project, on this role with these people. And we've had such a fantastic connection as a group. In early rehearsals, we sat around a table and talked about our own personal experiences involving racism. And I learned in some really eye-opening things from the African Americans in the cast about their life experience in LA and what they've had to deal with on a daily basis that I would never have thought of, you know, and it's been a very powerful experience for me.
Once again, I love the play. I loved your performance too, because again, I love anti-heroes, and you were actually a real anti-hero.
Thank you. I like playing those kind of characters. I like playing people with an edge. I tend to get cast a lot in those kinds of roles, and I enjoy them. I mean, they're interesting and they're fun to play.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
James Liebman. I was born in New York City. I moved out to LA a few years back. I'm half Greek, as is the writer of the play, Honky, which we found out while we were working on this, which was very cool. Yeah, that's the most tall, good-looking, you know, the usual. I played Peter. Well, Peter is, he's a really conflicted man, without giving away too much about what goes on in the play. He's just a really conflicted man. He wants to do good, and despite himself, he actually means to do good. He just keeps kind of shooting himself in the foot in different ways. And he wants to be the perfect man. And he's just not, which is pretty much the best way I can explain him, yeah.
Well, I love the play. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you.
I love the performances. I love your performance in particular.
Thank you very much.
And I just wish I could say it without giving away the plot. People should just come see this, because I think actually if I came by and saw this again, I would take it'd be even more in depth. There's just that much material in it.
Yeah. I think. I love the play. The first time I read it, there was the bang at first, because I won't give too much away, but there are just things that are said and done in this play that are pretty extreme. It's I want to say ruthless. I want to say it just faces a lot of these questions that we have, and that was the first thing. But the second thing is that I love the fact that it faces a lot of those questions, and I think it makes a lot of people who watch the show really question it. I mean, really question how they go about their lives and how they treat people and how they talk about things. Our director said at one point, and it makes absolute sense, this play is very much about words, and how words are used, what words we can use, what words need to be put away, what words are dangerous, et cetera, et cetera. So, and boundaries, and what you can think, what you can't think, what you should look at, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that it does actually benefit from many viewings. I think even just to get the opportunity to hear all of the different arguments that are being made, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there's plenty of depth there. There's plenty to mine,
Feel free not to answer this question. What do you think of the word queer?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. I think with any word, it depends on how it's used. I've heard that word used as between homosexuals. I've heard that used as a derogatory term. And I think just like this play, and just like any situation like that, it has to do with what are the intentions behind the words, and that's where words become so important, because it's not just the word. It's not those letters in a group. It's what is behind it. And sensitivity, of course, so that if you find out that someone is hurt by that, you don't say it. You know what I mean? So personally, I know that word shocks a lot of people, just like the N-word shocks a lot of people. You know what I mean? And I think that it has as much to do with the intention behind it as anything else. So the word, to me, it's like the word is the word, but what's the history? What's the story behind it? That's the best I can say about it.
So, did you get anything out of the play?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. The biggest part is the discussions that we had when we were rehearsing for this were just amazing, and I wish we had like a camera on those, because really, when you open up discussions about race and sexuality, it's in plays that deal with that, you end up talking about that as well, But when you talk about something like race, you have to put everything on the table if you really want to do a job that fulfills what the playwright has written, and what will ultimately affect an audience if they're watching and they're listening. And so the actors and the director and all the people involved in the show, we really have to put everything on the table and talk about history and learn from the directors and some of the African American actors that are in this, and from white actors as well, what we know. And we put all that on the table, and it just became the conversations were amazing, and very enlightening, very fulfilling, and I think in many ways bonded us in a great way, because I feel like this play for us is the mission. You know what I mean? Making people question and think about how they say things and what they say and to whom, et cetera, makes all of us work together to get people to be affected that way.
Once again, I loved the performance. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you.
I really loved your performance.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Inger Tudor. I am a former attorney. I went to Harvard undergrad and Harvard Law School, and I went to the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art for drama. I played Amelia. Amelia is a very educated woman of color, and she deals in a world where most of her patients are primarily white, and I think she's just struggling to deal with the fact that sometimes she deals with a lot of people who aren't quite used to the idea of a black psychiatrist without it being an issue. And as much as she tries to not have it be an issue for her, sometimes I think she gets a little frustrated with always seeming sort of odd to other people.
Question: if one of my viewers decide to come by here and see the show, what should they expect? What should they expect to see?
They should expect to laugh a lot. They should also expect to think about their notions of race, their concepts that may not in their mind initially be stereotypes, but as the show goes on, I'm sure they'll see something that's familiar or maybe even they thought or said and go, oh, wait a minute, maybe that is an issue. I think it makes you reconsider some of the things that you think in terms of race.
Did you get anything out of the play?
What I got out of the play was a greater awareness of, I guess, sort of the constructs of race and stereotypes, but even more importantly, and I hadn't thought of it this way, how we monetize them, how we use them for profit. I think there's a great line in the play where the guy who runs the ad company says, yeah, we use stereotypes every day. They're called demographics. And I think quite often we don't consider that people are using stereotypes and making money off of them and what the effect of that is for the people they're stereotyping.
Personal question: do you think, as me being a radio personality, I have a responsibility that I represent an entire media, that basically the very words I say, I have to be very careful with the questions I ask people? It's part of my responsibility to make sure things are balanced and fair. Do you think that I have that burden on me?
Well, as a radio person, I do think you have a burden, I don't like the word burden. I think you do have a responsibility to try and be fair, to try and be balanced. Knowing what to say to people and how to say it, we were talking about this earlier, it's very delicate. And some people are tone deaf. And, they don't always know what they're saying. Like, there's one character, that's the whole scene with the very first time I come out, is my patient has no clue as to the fact that he's tone deaf on, like, how you speak to a person of color when you're not expecting them to be a person of color because of their name or because of their profession. So I think there is a responsibility for awareness of what's going on in a community and for issues that may be of importance to that community, and to try and dig a little deeper and find out what that means and how that community's issues affect everyone.
Once again, I love the performance. I loved your performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Tasha Ames. I grew up in California, Southern California. I went to NYU for 2 years and then transferred to USC, graduated there, and I've been doing theater and acting in LA since then. I'm Andy. I think Andy doesn't pretend to be different than I am. I think I am I'm not worried about how I'm perceived, I don't think. I think there's lots of stuff that I don't understand, and I don't feel bad that I don't understand it about race.
I really like the performance, and I liked yours in particular.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
If one of my viewers decide to come here, what should they expect to see?
I think they should expect to laugh a lot and squirm in their seat a little bit, and hopefully walk out at least thinking about their own kind of relationship to race and racism in their lives. I think we live in a time where people are very concerned with how they seem and don't really have a place to examine why some of the thoughts they think come into their heads. So I think the play's a really awesome opportunity to start dialogues about why do those thoughts even come into our heads, instead of going, oh, I know that's bad and I shouldn't think that, and try to stuff it down. Because yeah, they are really messed up ideas that we have, but if we don't have a place to at least start talking about it, then I just don't see how they're going to change.
Yeah, once again, I really loved your performance.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Matthew Hancock. I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio, studied in New York, and I'm here now in LA. I play Kid 1 and Frederick Douglass, which is an interesting twist on a very formative figure in history.
Actually, I'd like to know what your take is on Kid 1.
I think we get to play a lot because we get to experience three different kinds of kids throughout the whole show. You have the first set of kids who are actually, more street and more aggressive, but there's an innocence in that that's perceived. It's all about perception, which is what this perception and language and, what we think we know. The second kids are more educated or astute, but yet end up doing more stereotypical things that you would think of when you think of crime or something like that. And then the third kids are, there may be a dream, maybe this is reality, but it's also, there's a cell, if you will, that has to happen with those kids and that character.
Great. If one of my viewers decide to come by here and see the play, what should they expect to see?
You should expect to laugh. You should expect to be uncomfortable, and that's all okay. That's all okay, because I think that's what this whole conversation is about. How we talk about race, how we discuss race, what is sensitive for us, what's topics that we want to talk about. It is an open forum, and you should also expect to think. It's a very thought-provoking piece, even though it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Did you get anything out of the play?
Did I get anything out of the play? Yeah, I think. Well, and more so than anything, it's illuminated my perceptions and my views and kind of made me notice, you catch some people saying things that are actually really racist, but they're speaking from an experience where they've obviously been affected by a racist situation. So everyone's working through this thing that we call race in their own way. So it's really illuminated that for me, for sure, yeah.
Well, I loved the play. I loved your performance.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you for coming, and thank you to all the listeners out there.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Christian Henley. I just actually recently graduated from the University of Southern California Master of Fine Arts in Acting program. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I was schooled in Atlanta, Georgia in undergrad, and I just recently moved back to Los Angeles. I played Kid 2. In each scene, to me, Kid 1 and Kid 2 kind of serve as a consciousness of the character that they're interacting with, and Kid 2 just bounces off. He's just a complementary figure to Kid 1, as Kid 1 is a complementary figure to Kid 2, and we are just we're a mirror. We're reflecting back an image that the character that we interact with on, whether it be the subway train, thinks of what an African-American kid is.
I love the play. I just loved it. I actually loved your performance, too.
Thank you very much.
So, question, if one of my viewers came by here and saw this play, what should they expect to see?
I think they're going to see a play that, they will see a play that will it won't give them any answers. And I think that's a stronger objective, because it forces someone to come up with answers on their own. I think they're going to see something that's funny, something that's uncomfortable, something that is progressive, something that could also be looked at as regressive. But I think with any good anything, you have both. You have the black and the white, you have the yin and the yang. So I think they're going to see a good play.
Did you get anything out of the play?
I did. One, I got to meet fabulous, talented actors and actresses and a slew of creative team. But I was able to expand on a perspective, on other people's perspectives, and share mine and gather theirs. And I mean, once you stretch anything, it never returns back to its original dimension. So who I am as a person has been altered in a positive.
Once again, I love the performances. I loved your performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Honky will be playing at the Met from May 7th to June 12th. For more information, go to www.roguemachinetheater.com.